Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight I'd like to discuss offerings. What is an offering? An offering is something that the practitioner feels is appropriate. Most often the time, it is something that you fear or that you think is good for the relationship that you have with a deity. Most commonly, it is wine or some form of food that is given as an offering. Sometimes it is considered blood offerings. That's if you're comfortable with it. But let's say, for an example, that you have a history of cutting, self-harm. Then I would recommend going with something that would not put you at risk to be in the same manner. But when we discuss offerings, what would be distasteful to one person may be completely good for another. Whereas, say for an example, let's say for an example, many practices today still work with animal sacrificing, such as slitting the throat of a cock, a rooster, and bleeding it out. This may be fine in some religions such as hoodoo. Say for an example, Palo Mayambi, Quimbanda, Ambanda, Santa Morte, La Santa Morte. Okay? Groups like that, religious foundations like that. Whereas, say for an example, in Wiccan and Wicca, paganism even, an offering like that would be considered repugnant. Everybody today is so wrapped up in what everyone else is doing. They're not listening to the gods themselves. If you're not sure what kind of offering to give them, ask them. Ask the gods, the deities, the deitas, the angels, the demons, the jinn. Okay, ask them, what is it that you want as an offering? What do you like? What do you not like? Get in touch with these deities, these beings that you work with, and ask them, what do you like? And then go from there. Build up that relationship to the point where it is a level of trust. Okay? That level of trust to go to them and say, hey, I feel the need to give you an offering. Do you like blood sorcery? If so, I can do this. But it's not about somebody else, it's about you, the individual. And that's what's sad about the world today, is so many people would rather get into herd conformity rather than to be into spirituality. Getting in touch with these gods and opening up to them. Learning to identify their energies and find out what they like and they dislike, to learn from them directly. Instead, it's about plagiarizing or you're copying me. Oh no. Who gives a shit? Really? Who gives a shit? Ask those you serve what they like. Because it's not about somebody else. It is not about another organization. It is not about who's right and who's wrong. It's about the individual and their connection to Deitus. So remember this. When you're giving an offering, you can either ask what they like and then wait for the reply. Or you can go throughout the store, say the food section or the wine section, and see what speaks to you. Carry something around with you that most gods like, say, packets of honey. You know, maybe a little vial of wine of some kind. Maybe some blood. A candle. Just give some prayer, some recognition. Some time from your own personal day. But it does come down to what you are comfortable with doing. Not what somebody else is comfortable with. Find out what they like. Find out what your gods and goddesses like. And then go from there. Like I said, the two most common are some form of foods like cakes, pastries, and wine. But it does come down to what you're comfortable with. So go from there and build that level of trust with them, that communion. All right? This Dark Sorcerer is out. Enjoy.